Hey everybody, welcome to In the Heart of History. My name is Lawanda and I am visiting Wake Forest Historical Museum in Wake Forest, North Carolina. So we're going to start off by looking at some of the historical stands they have on campus, or on the outside of the museum that is. And this particular stand talks about the howler tree, which was a tree that stood next to the old fountain or old well, and it was considered a gathering spot. So a lot of people would just stand there and get the shade and get water on the well. So it was actually made into a yearbook. The title, anyway, of the yearbook was called The Howler. So it still lives on, despite the tree no longer being here. And then we kind of go into detail about the well and the different layers of it, and where it stood. Now, the old well used to be actually on Wake Forest College campus. This is Wake Forest Historical Museum. So this was moved along with the Calvin Jones house. We'll look at that in a moment. But it's just some information about each one of those, the howler tree and the old well. And what I can do, if you like, I can make additional videos detailing more about those two things. Just drop if you want me to do it in the comment below, and I will definitely do that. Here's another historical stand, and we have more information about what the school is now. So it's actually Southeastern Baptist Theology Seminary, if I said that right. So it's still a school, but it's just called that now. And the old Wake Forest College moved to Winston-Salem in 1956 and is now known as Wake Forest University. So that's some history for you. A lot of different changes, but it's still a school. So now we're going to take a peek in Calvin Jones' house. So Calvin Jones actually lived here, but he sold his house, and because he wanted more land, he wanted a bigger plantation, he just wanted more, so he sold his home to the North Carolina Baptist Convention in 1832, and he moved on to Tennessee, where he did obtain a bigger plantation. So we're just looking at what's in the house now. Like, this is on site, and I had no plans of visiting this when I was there because it's like up for tour. So I just happened to go to the museum one day, and I went at the time that they were having a tour, and I had no idea. So I went there, and they was like, "Are you here for the tour?" I was like, "Is a tour going on?" Sure, I would definitely join the tour because I love history and I love to tour different things. So I took advantage of that and got to tour the home and see the different layout. And I believe when they changed the school over, this house was used for the kids who used to go to Wake Forest College. So you see a lot of the old materials in here, the old bedding, just so much information and so much history and antiques. Now I went on back into the museum after I was done and looked at the current, current placement they had at the museum. So they had a part where they focused on African Americans and what they did for society in Wake Forest, and not just Wake Forest, but North Carolina in general. So you had different flyers of the African Americans that contributed to Raleigh, Wake Forest, Wilmington, just different parts of North Carolina. So that was so exciting to see, because a lot of times you won't know unless you kind of dig for yourself or unless someone else tells you. But it was so cool to see that and how they had the layout. Now they don't usually have something in there. This inside of this place right here, the building actually always has the normal museum. So if you go there, you definitely won't see these. You'll see like the placement of the things that are usually in the museum. So this was just like a kind of not a one-time thing, but it was just they were doing the segment for a couple of months. So I know that it has definitely changed now. So I look to go back to the museum in the future to see what it looks like after they changed it. So it's just some cool things to see and just cool history to learn about and things to read. And yeah, I really enjoyed it because, like I said, I love history. So I really enjoy learning about the different buildings and what African Americans did and contribute to North Carolina. And I look to definitely go to, if not all, definitely most of these places and locations that are exhibited here. And I definitely think it's worth going to. It's like different churches and just so many different things. Now, they had a back room, and in the back room area was the things that usually are in the main building of the museum. Well, I could say the main room because this was the same building, just a different room. So we go in here, we see now some of the things that are usually in the museum. So you'll see like the things that Wake Forest College represented, like the law school, which is Wake Forest, has a law school. You'll see the doctor part, the School of Medicine. So while I'm kind of breezing through each of these exhibits, I want you to take a look at all of them, but I'm also going to read a little bit about the museum to you. So just definitely take a look at the video more, and I will start off by talking about what's in the museum. So, and about Wake Forest Historical Museum. So, the museum tells the story of a community that began with Wake Forest College, founded in 1834, and extends beyond the school's departure for Winston-Salem in 1956. Exhibits, displays, and collections share Wake Forest history and its identity as the Five Towns in One, comprised of five distinct areas, each with its own story and individual culture: the college campus, the business district, the Glen Royal Cotton Mill, the African American neighborhood known as East End, and a rural area of farmers and moonshiners called the Hurricane. Each represents a larger cultural movement in the American South. Did you know that? I definitely didn't know that, so I'm learning so much just by reading the information and just by seeing these exhibits. And then we'll keep going. In 2010, the museum opened its new 7,000 square foot museum facility. A series of exhibits interpreted life in the five parts of town, along with histories of sports, medicine, law, and the surrounding community. An introductory film orients museum visitors. So if you go on any other day, you can ask to see the introductory film, and you kind of get like an introductory of exactly what you're about to see. I didn't do that film though. I just kind of walked in and started walking around. So I didn't even ask about the film. I just kind of wanted to get an idea of the exhibits for myself. But I would strongly encourage you to look at that film because it'll open up a lot to you. Or just, hey, go back and look at this video and that'll open up a lot for you too. So we'll keep on. This says the museum hosts visitors from across the U.S. and around the world each year, providing guided tour visits for professional student groups, churches, and civic clubs. Holds quarterly public programs organized by the Wake Forest Historical Association. Gives free tours for schools and clubs, along with church and civic groups. I can second that because, like I said, when I was there, I just walked in and just decided to go to the museum one day and had the opportunity to go on a tour of Calvin Jones' house. So I was excited about that because I got more than what I came there for. I didn't come expecting to see the home of Calvin Jones, but I did get that, and also like a history lesson as well when I went and did the tour. I'm going to talk a little bit about Calvin Jones while we're kind of walking through the video as you continue to see the exhibits we have. So it says, by the time Dr. Calvin Jones sold his house in 615 acres of land to the North Carolina Baptist Convention in 1832, he was already one of the state's most prominent citizens. Born in Sheffield, Massachusetts in 1775, Jones received his medical education by apprenticing with an established physician. He soon migrated south and opened an office in Smithfield, North Carolina. Ooh, Smithfield, that has a lot of history too. I'll continue on, where he practiced medicine for 8 years before moving to Raleigh in 1803. Jones has the distinction of being among the first physicians to perform cataract surgery on patients. That is very, very interesting. He also went on to found the North Carolina Medical Society, serve as mayor of Raleigh, become a state legislator, published the Raleigh Star, serve on the board of trustees at the University of North Carolina, work as an educator, postmaster, and farmer, and served as a general in the War of 1812. When he was 41 years old, Jones married widow Temperance Bodie Williams Jones of Franklin County, daughter of wealthy Warren County planter. She brought to the relationship several enslaved African Americans and a son by her first marriage. The Jones family and their slaves lived in the area that Jones named Wake Forest, taken from the original designation. The Forest Awake. The Forest Awake. After selling his property to the Baptists who paid $2,000 and planned to use the site to establish a school, the Jones family moved to Central Tennessee. By the time Jones died in 1846, his Tennessee estate comprised 30,000 acres. So he moved on to Tennessee and had him a bigger plantation, which is what he wanted in the first place. He kind of didn't want to start off small, but he got some advice from his wife's family, and they said, "Hey, start off small, and then you can get your bigger plantation later." So that's what he did. So he started off small, made his plantation profitable, did some amazing things in North Carolina, and then he went on to Tennessee and had a bigger plantation and did some more things there. So that's the general information about Calvin Jones. So I hope you really are enjoying this video and looking at the different things that Wake Forest College has to offer or had to offer. And then some of it might go into Wake Forest University as well. And if you'd like me to, I can also do another video on Wake Forest University. Just leave that information in the comments if you would like me to do that as well. But yeah, so much to see. It's just so unique. So you see this part with the different play lockers and the Letterman's jacket, and it's just so much to see. But I want to go dig deeper into this information and more information, not just about Wake Forest, but North Carolina in general and the United States in general. So I love history, and I love digging deep into history and getting more information just to educate everybody, because I do think everybody needs to know about history. So I definitely think it helps in having a better life and just being knowledgeable about the events that happened, what people went through, and just different things. So I think that's very important for anybody. So feel free to definitely subscribe to my channel if you like all things history or anything history. Consider subscribing to my channel, and also consider hitting that notification bell if you want to receive the updates when I do post a video. And feel free to like this video as well. But I'll be making more and more content and different videos about history, because I said I do love history, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video.